Our favorite asset, XRP, will be used for a wide variety of purpose in the financial markets, and it will happen soon, and as we say, it will become the standard, as many are slowly awakening to the fact that XRP may not actually be a security, and it won't be the end result after this lawsuit. So the fact that UK considers XRP as a means of exchange along with BTC and ETH show that SEC had a wrong decision. So if UK don't see it as a security, it should also be considered that within the G20 markets, it's not only UK, there are other nations who does the same, right? They all think in the same manner. And when many people ask about Coinbase and other exchange in US related to the XRP lawsuit and what they should actually do, I would actually say, if it's me, I would move slowly towards exchanges outside US. Say, let it be Binance, Bitrue, Uphold, or whichever exchange gives you what you actually want. Now, for those who are holding, it's a must know that Ripple, the company, is not giving up on you guys. They tried to stop this SEC carnage before it happened. But SEC was really hungry for the blood of XRP holders, and that did happen. We went down in price. So when you look at the price, you have a lot of thoughts. So now what about the price of XRP? How is it actually doing? For that, you first have to look at the general market, say BTC dominance, and then the altcoin market and how that both are correlating, and understand the probability of what may happen in the near future. And then go through different XRP charts and analyze what the current scenario looks like. So this gives you an advantage as an investor or a trader to look at things in the correct manner, and as it's happening or evolving, you can take benefit from that. Now, yes, you need to understand what's happening right now, and you need to act as soon as that pattern evolves. Otherwise, you miss that chance. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. When we look at the price, it shows us a lot of different stories. Now that also is based on what time frame you are trading, which time frame you are looking at. So this is a 4-hour chart of XRP, and you kind of see in the MACD that a possible cross to the downside is there. But will the price go down with that, or will it correct in the near area? Will it consolidate there and then move to the upside? Because that can become like a bullish pennant after the recent break of the pattern, as we see in this channel. And the RSI, as it is moving to the upside, it's not turning negative right now. If it gets supported and bounce, that will push the price to the upside again. So that is something which you are looking at a short term. Now then you move a step back and look at the same thing on a macro scale, say 3-day chart. Now that's one of my favorite charts to use. And yes, it will give you a little bit of confusion, for which you will use a daily chart to solve the same question if it is concerning you. Otherwise, this gives you the clarity that we came below, we wicked, and we are turning to the upside. Now, to clarify that, you can actually use different type of charts. So on the fundamental side, you will have your strength. And at the same time, when you look at the fundamental, technical, and combined perspective, you see positive scenarios turning out, right? So here is a tweet from Roslyn. She highlights cryptocurrencies are playing a growing role in the life of American consumers, and see what SEC has done, right? For a payment asset, which is the best payment asset available in the market right now, with regulatory clarity, a project which has worked with regulators from the initial state. Anyway, with a new administration incoming, our panel will unpack the present day state of affairs of US crypto regulations and considers what's ahead for the industry. So almost everyone expects something huge. So if you look at that panel, you have Dr. Roslyn Layton there, you have the crypto mom, Hester Pierce there, you have other two commissioners. So these would step as a new stone for the crypto holders. Now, as we go further, you also have to understand these are not the small things. Why? Investors will come in more and more. Now, on the socialism perspective, you see this as a, yeah, you can clap, it's cool. But do think about this. You're going to look at a lot more reliefs if this leader is going to come in. That may sound good for a lot of guys, but if you look at the macro perspective, it's not. If you're providing more and more reliefs, saying the pandemic has hit the economy so hard, you do have to understand you're borrowing from the future. So that's inflating your economy. So the inflation is already moving up. Many countries are suffering. You look at Venezuela, what happened there with their fiat currencies, you will definitely understand what hyperinflation means, right? Now, if you don't want your fiat to depreciate, you will move into different assets, right? So in that sense, you would be looking at an asset which can appreciate instead of just holding the value there. Now that's why majority are turning in towards the crypto assets. And when you look at the fundamentals of the industry, you do understand that it's not a small thing. Because at the same time, when we have a global recession, which is going towards becoming an economic depression, you also have a huge wealth transfer happening. It's like 68 trillion in assets, which will be transferred from baby boomers to Gen X and millennials. So that's happening in the next 2 decades. So if you are watching the movement of money, the leaders of different institutions, different companies, corporate institutions, if their leadership was changed towards a younger gen, then instead of looking at gold, they would diversify a vast majority of their portfolio with alternative assets, and crypto will definitely be one of them. So that's not actually a small amount which you are talking about. And as we saw in a couple of last video and the day before that, regulations are stepping up. So Ripple X tweets this one. OCC this week granted banks permission to connect to public blockchains. But how can they actually do this? Take benefit of this new announcement. And David Shaws highlight this. Another and timely benefit of the XRP ledger. So when these regulations are coming out, you see that there is a lot in connection with the technology of XRP and XRP ledger. Why? Because these experts are in those committees where they teach those who don't know about this technology. So when we continue reading, the unique fungible token functionality that makes it easy for banks to create, issue and manage stable coins. I explain how with issued currencies. So when you look previously, you do understand that banks, central banks and corporates are trying to come up with their own stable coins. But when they come up with their own stable coins, they will still need a bridge asset. Say here, if you remember this one, David Shaws highlights this one. Why doesn't Amazon just create its own currency, similar to say Bitcoin, by accepting purchases of any of their online products? Why is not that happening? Because if you look at that, then they still need a bridge asset, right? Because Amazon is an institution which works across the globe. So they would be receiving different fiats and they need to actually bridge that. If it's coming from dollar, they can do that easily directly because right now dollar is the reserve asset. But Amazon being the giant, They won't store that cash in a depreciating value, which is the fiat itself. They will look to diversify by investing in alternative assets. So first you get a fiat currency, then you move that into another asset. So as of now, what is the best bridge asset there? Let it be towards gold, silver, oil, or whatever it is. You currently have this one. Now, even if you have other assets which will represent something similar, the benefits of XRP ledger, such as instantaneous transaction with near zero cost, and the main part is the reputation with regulators. Just forget about SEC. Those are idiotic fools who don't actually understand what the technology is about, and they just blasted it. If they consider ETH or Ether as non-security, then XRP has a lot of similarities, the use cases itself. Now that's for the fundamental side of it. Now, when we actually look at the technical side of this, you do have a lot more information. Now say I plotted this pattern a little bit back, and when we look at the price now, say that was on an hourly chart. So if I go back into a hourly chart, I can see that the price is slowly gaining momentum. It's moving to the upside. So if I'm to update you guys about what's happening on the right moment, you can look at this perspective and see that it's acting as a support. We got a bounce, we are moving to the upside, we are nearing that resistance. Now at the same time, if you look at the RSI, it's rounding to the upside, it's moving up. That's not actually a bad deal. Then you look at the MACD, it's showing it's getting rounded in the positive territory. So if it bounces here, there is a room for running to the upside, maybe 20 to 40%, right? Now that's on a shorter time frame, right? Because you saw that on a 60-minute chart. Now, macro perspective, which will lead you towards the medium to long range of increase in your portfolio, is completely based on how things evolve with BTC dominance or altcoin market cap. In altcoin market cap, what we see is that to reach the support here, alts may move 10% down. Now, last time when alts moved up 70%, XRP went up to 20%. So if the general altcoin market cap is going down 10%, will XRP go down rapidly like 50%? That's a huge question which I have, you have, and everyone have. So what will we actually do to get an answer for that? Because no one knows the answer. Now, we won't get an exact response for that, but what we can manage to do is go into a daily, weekly chart of XRP BTC pair and then look at what it's doing there. So right now, if you're going in on XRP BTC pair, this is what I can actually see. We broke above that and it's actually cool. We have indicators there. Now I prepared this chart on I think 12 hour, 4 hour. So these lines are not aligning properly. But here, if you look at these, you will generally understand that this is not a small thing. There is a divergence forming. The pattern broke up, it came below. It's showing that it's kind of bouncing. Now if it does, it's going to go up. Now this is a time, usually when I prepare these kind of stuff, I update my Patreon members right away, and I did on this one too. But before that bounce is happening, I'm recording this video. So this time, I hope most of you guys also get to take benefit of some of these patterns as it evolves. Now that's related to XRP. Now if you look at Cardano, XLM, ZIL, ICX, and a lot of different assets, you do have patterns forming there, which I'm informing my patrons. If you would like to get similar updates, timely updates for your portfolio or the assets which you are interested in, you can look at the Patreon, link is given in the description. See, this is 9th of a month and it's still cool to get in. Once you are entering after 20th, 25th, it won't be that cool because the charge has to be paid when you're entering, and then again on 1st of every month. So if you want more value, you can enter early, or if you're late, come after 1st of a month. Now back to the matter. When we look at the general market, say you go to Coin Paprika and just see that the market is moving to the upside, when you look at different assets, say BTC, Ether, let it be any other asset rather than XRP, because we talk a lot about XRP. And you compare your return on investment with all the others. Say Ether moved hard than XRP and it reached where it is right now. But if you look at last 1 week, it's 67% up, which is not a bad deal. Then you count down from there, last 6 days, last 5 days. Then you understand something. Okay, so it moved hard at first, then it slowed down. Why it slowed down? It has a reason. That's its market cycle. Now, then you look at other assets in the same time frame. Say Cardano, it performed well. It went 73%. Stellar, it went 126%. Now, this are after the correction. It actually went way much higher than this, right? How do you find these assets before they does these kind of magical pumps? You do technical analysis on them. You position your portfolio with those assets in a lower direction. How you find that? You plot support resistance zones instead of just putting support or resistance lines, because price usually moves in a pattern in zones, and once you identify that pattern and get a bounce from there back to in a bull market cycle, you're gonna make a lot more profits in that trade. Always understand, you need to think as an investor, not just as a short-term trader or not like someone who don't even know charts. I just saw a lot of new guys entering into my Patreon, and then I came to understand they have been trading without the knowledge of TA. They don't understand charts. They just go based on the intuition, or when someone says buy, they just buy. Don't do that. You look at the chart, you understand things, and when you see an opportunity and you recognize and validate that it is an opportunity, then jump in, because the money is yours. And if someone is making a wrong call, looking at a wrong indicator or wrong price action or a pattern, it's your money at risk. But mostly those who trade this market and give calls have good hit rate. Say at least when we consider the scientific investor channel for different assets, 7 to 8 times we get it right when we call 10 calls. So you do have to understand, still 2 to 3 calls will be wrong, but it's the 7 to 8 times when you make profit, you recover and widen your portfolio. So the profits go deeper, reducing the risks of that 2 to 3 losses. Now, when you look at the general market in XRP, say this is a 3-day chart, you see the bottom here, you see a double bottom in the RSI, then the pattern evolving. But yes, the RSI didn't yet reach back above the trading range. But then you will go into a daily chart to understand what really is happening. When you look at that, yes, we got that double bottom in that 3-day chart when we are moving in our channel. Okay, that's cool. That's a rising channel. The trend line support is there. We broke below and now we broke above. So when you broke below, you got a retest. So the same case should happen when you broke above this. You'll get a retest and then bounce. So it's not directly going 500% to the upside or 200% to the upside. You pumped 60%. Yes, I agree. But you came above the 200-day moving average. That's not a small deal, and that too on a daily chart. Now it's time for a little bit of correction, consolidation, and then a move to the upside. Why? Because you look at this red dotted line going through, that's the current price, which is above these previous resistance line. That is really important. That means this was a resistance zone, and now the price is above that. That's huge stuff for you to understand as you move further in this bull market. So guys, I do believe you received value, and if you did, please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.